Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini.
I'm Chris.
Gini. Wait, I have to say I'm Gini first.
She's Gini, I'm Chris.
Yeah.
So she's got a cool headband, I don't. And that's because I don't have that much hair.
I don't think this headband would look cute on you.
Yes, it would.
Who thinks this headband would look cute on Chris?
Everybody. The one person watching does.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to do Q&A. You ask, we answer, and let's try to stump Chris Helms tonight.
It's not happening. So anybody is welcome to ask questions that are not related to OWCP, and I will answer them. If they're not related to OWCP, I will answer them wrong, and that's the way that goes. Maybe it'll be right, like coin toss.
In the meantime, those of you that are asking about Chris's book, I'm going to have him tell you about it, how to get it. Meanwhile, I'll be sharing as well as you guys. Don't forget, the new share winners will be announced the first week in March, okay? Don't forget, you have to share, like, and follow. And when you share the posts that we post, you must put your privacy settings on public, or else you could be a share winner and I not even know.
So if you don't put your privacy settings on public and you don't win, please don't be upset with anybody, including yourself, because it's hard. I have no idea how to do that. If I want to do it, I have to have her do it. So find a teenager. They all know how to do it. That way we know when you share, because she's counting and those shares matter.
Yep.
And we appreciate it. And the shares matter to you and to your coworkers more than us. We're here to teach. And when you share, your coworkers get to join in and learn as well. So they appreciate it, and so do we. So thanks for doing that. She said that we're going to talk about my book. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is not a sales presentation. But you'll notice my shirt says Breaking OWCP, as that is the name of the book. Also, Breaking OWCP. But wait, there's volume 2.
There's more.
Yeah, so there's actually 2 books. I wrote the first one during the beginning of the lockdown in COVID. It took me 3 days, 28 hours. I didn't sleep that much, but I did write a book. The next one took a lot longer, but that's because we're now, as you can see, the word franchise, join FIC franchise in the back, working heavily to get you new doctors in range of every federal employee nationwide. And so it's taken a lot of effort. As a result, it took a long time to get the second book written. So if you'd like to get the book, you're not here for the book. You don't have to buy it to be here. We're happy for you to be here, and we're going to teach you anyways. But the book is at breakingowcp.com. So just take the shirt.com, breakingowcp.com. And the books are $14.95. If you don't have both already, you can buy 2 books for $22. And, the goal is to get them in your hands so you have the information. They teach you rules, laws, regulations. They teach you the tricks of the trade, the things that nobody knows. And the result of knowing the information in the book is accepted claims. And not losing your benefits, not losing your job, not losing your house. And, worse things even that I don't even want to talk about. So breakingowcp.com. And I hope you'll get it. I hope you'll let somebody else know that it exists, so that you and your friends and coworkers and your coworkers who are friends will have access to the information. And by the way, that's why you're here. If you don't know, and this is your first time here, you're here to learn about OWCP. When she first had this idea, like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, I said, this is insane. Nobody is going to come here and watch an hour-long video on workers' comp. Well, it turns out we get about 450,000 views a year on people that want to know about workers' comp. So if you're here and you think it's kind of weird that I'm watching workers' comp, just know you're one of 450,000.
And this is the reason why we want you guys to share, because there's others of them out there, all federal employees, all agencies, all unions, that don't know that we exist. I talked to somebody in Orlando this week. They said they just happened to stumble across my page.
By accident.
I got the guy this morning that found me on LinkedIn at 2 a.m. this morning. He said, I saw your picture and
That's why I went on her picture.
He decided to scroll, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, she does federal work comp. Let me reach out to her." So this afternoon, he got in touch with us, and here we are.
Yeah, and this kind of goes along with the theme of the second book. So if you can see this, it says,
"You are not alone."
So when you read the title, don't sing that song. You're not alone. So what happened is, since I wrote the first book, and every week we do this, I realized that people are on an island by themselves, and so many people do feel alone. Like whatever's happening to them, they're the first person this ever happened to.
Yeah.
And so what I want everyone to know is you're not alone. I mean, we're here. I'm here for sure. All of our doctors are here. We're franchising, so we're putting a doctor in range of every federal employee. But as federal employees yourself, as coworkers, you can make sure that someone else is not alone. And so you can tell them to come here and watch. They can get this information every week. You can share your book, or get one for someone else, or tell them about the book. But whatever you do, if you're helping people understand OWCP, then they won't feel like they're alone. They'll have a better chance of reporting their claims and getting their claims approved. And that's what we want. No more denied claims is a motto of mine. It's sort of a mission. It's a life statement. No more denied claims. Because approximately 1 out of 7 people with injuries have denied claim or accepted claims, which means 6 out of 7 don't. But with us, with Federal Injury Centers, that's our franchise company, we have accepted claims at a rate of about 6.5 out of 7, and the other half just aren't accepted yet. So there's a way to do this. But one of the best things you can do for yourself is know the information. If you know the information, you share the information, then your odds of having an accepted claim go way up, and we want it to be 7 out of 7. That's why we're here. So tell your friends, definitely share. If you're not sharing this, if you haven't shared it already, go ahead. We have another share contest this month. The winner, whoever has the most shares in the month of February, is going to get a really nice prize, courtesy of us and Federal Injury Centers. We really would like you to let your folks know that they're not alone. Yeah. And you can do that by sharing.
Hey, Danielle. Hello,
Danielle,
April.
what's up?
Okay, so I'm going to start going through questions because we just want to get them all knocked out and answer your question. And I know I look like a zombie today. I had a little...
Yeah, tell them what's going on.
I had a little procedure done to my face, microneedling. And yeah, I can't put makeup on, and this is what I look like.
Well, everyone just give her a bunch of hearts. She doesn't think... Like, she was, thinking about being on the other side of the camera tonight.
I was going to sit on the other side.
She didn't want you to see her. I said, well, that's ridiculous. So you're coming on. Nobody wants to see me. So if she wasn't here, you'd all probably tune out. But that reminds me, and she didn't know I was going to do this, so sorry about this. But the other thing Gini does on the side...
Oh, the side?
On the side. She does makeup. And if you've ever watched a video of hers, you know that her makeup is 10 out of 10 all the time. Usually she walks out of the bathroom after she's done her makeup, and I'm not even sure what to say. But she's started a makeup tutorial on Facebook, right?
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Beauty and Her Cocktail.
No, don't explain it anymore because I like the rest of it. Beauty and Her Cocktail. So the beauty part is easy. But and Her Cocktail is fun because our other son from West Palm just moved back after going to bartending school. And so what she's going to do, which is super fun, is do a Facebook Live like this on a different page called Beauty and Her Cocktail, which you've already created, right?
Yeah. I already have people following me.
All right, so there's people following Beauty and Her Cocktail. Go find that on Facebook. I'm sorry, this is not about OWCP, so just bear with me for however much longer this takes. But Andrew is going to make drinks and give it to her, and she's going to tell you what ingredients went in, which is super fun, right?
Yeah.
I can't make good drinks, and she won't drink anything that I make. Not that she drinks much anyways, but Andrew is like a genius. So she's going to show the ladies out there how to do their makeup the way, if they like it, the way she does it.
It's kind of targeted for women over 40, as I am 45.
Get out of here.
And, dork, womp, womp, womp. And so I'm just doing it for fun.
It's just for fun.
There's no money being made on there. Just a lot of girls have these makeup pages and they're selling stuff. I'm not selling anything but my recipes.
But all the time, people are like, hey, how do you do makeup and stuff? So anyways, that's what that's about, Beauty and Her Cocktail. Check it out.
Thanks. for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, let's get to these questions. Albert Williams, how far back can you file for mileage?
All right, Albert. So here's the deal. You have 3 years from the date of injury to report your injury. If you report it on time, meaning inside that 3-year window, you can get paid for your mileage all the way back to day 1 of your injury. So if all the way to day 1 sounds good to you, that's the deal.
Kimberly Carr says, how did you two end up doing this?
Okay, so thanks for asking. I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier. I like this question, so I want to say it again. About 4 years ago, Gini came to me and she said, I have this idea. Facebook does this thing that's live. And I didn't know because I don't know anything about it. And you can go on live and people will watch you talk live. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of intimidating. And she says, we're going to talk about workers' comp.
Yes, I did.
I said, nobody's coming to watch a workers' comp video, ever. But smartly, I went ahead and listened to her. That was one of a number of great ideas that she had that helped us get to more of you. And we get over 450,000 views a year for the last 3+ years now. So it all happened because I said yes instead of no to an idea that I thought was horrible, which turned out to be maybe the best thing that ever happened to OWCP.
That's how we got started.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make sure. I told him there's, people are on, people are watching Facebook Lives. Why can't we do a live? So from what we've heard, people are very thankful that we're on here answering questions and helping you. And then that way you come to us and say, hey, do you know where there's a doctor? Yeah, go to your Google and search OWCP doctor in your city. And if there's a federal injury centers, there is. If there's not, then there's other doctors.
But what happened is, what really kind of solidified this as being a good idea versus what I thought was bad was we were going to conventions and union conventions, union meetings, those things. And I'm able to teach OWCP in those settings. I was teaching anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour to, at one point, 8 hours. And what I realized is this is something that people need. It's the consequences of not understanding OWCP can be devastating. And when I realized all these people are showing up live, and sometimes the unions would say, Chris is coming to teach, and the attendance would increase as a result of me being there. I'm like, well, what's this? Well, it turns out this is a subject that people don't know about, and I do, so I can teach it. And thanks to her, I can teach it to you at a rate of hundreds of thousands of people a year. And I'm really grateful for that. And
again, before I start answering more questions, don't forget to share, like, and follow.
More shares than that. That was 3. We actually like more shares than that, so do more shares than that.
I know last week we were going to tell you what we were going to share for this month, but
we're not ready yet.
We're not ready. We'll tell you next week, only because we got a new puppy. I know you guys saw it on my Facebook page. Her name is Ellie, and she is a full-breed German Shepherd with the prettiest blue eyes. It's a rare...
She looks like a chocolate lab.
Yeah.
With blue eyes, but she's a German Shepherd. And her dad... Okay, so let me just tell you something real quick. She's sleeping right there.
In her crate.
Right. And when she wakes up, she's going to raise all kinds of hell.
You'll hear her growl.
Because she's 6 weeks old. So there's going to be some commotion. Somebody's going to come get her out of there, take her outside. She doesn't pee on my floor again for the 6th time in 2 days. But she's adorable. So check this out. She looks like a lab, but she one day is going to act like a German Shepherd. Her dad is called a King German Shepherd. Look that up. They're enormous. He's gigantic.
He freaked me out.
He's so big.
Yeah.
I thought I could ride him as a horse. Probably you could.
Yeah.
The mom's like a regular German Shepherd.
Yeah, she's a
But it still
regular.
looks like she could straight up rip your throat out. And that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Okay, Melissa ST says, hey,
we don't want to kill her dog, I'm just saying, but this one's going to be pretty great.
He's going to be our bodyguard. She will
she.
be our bodyguard. And yes, Gizmo is very jealous.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's all the way pissed. He can't believe we brought her home.
Melissa ST said, hey, I finally got on the live. It's freezing up, but I'm here. Y'all looking good.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate you being here.
Rocky said, hi, I'm so thankful for you guys.
Thanks,
Aw.
Rocky. We appreciate it.
April Myrick said, I got denied and my doctor told me to get a lawyer.
Don't do it. Give us a call. You'll talk with Jennifer or Kami or Emmy, and we'll help you out. Don't worry about that. If you need a lawyer, we'll tell you, and then you'll know you actually need one.
Yeah, so we have Kamini, Jennifer, Emmy. They're all on here. Go ahead and post the phone number where everyone can give you guys a call.
Ron said, okay, where are all my postal friends? What's up, Ron? Ron's one of the big winners from last month of the share contest. Thanks again, Ron. And all of you that are there, I hope you win. But you have a uphill battle because we got some folks that really like to share. We had over 1,200 shares last month.
Yeah.
In a single month, so we hope that you'll get involved and help a lot of people.
I'm going to pin the number after I read this question, but the number is 877-787-OWCP.
JJ Grant's here. What's up, JJ?
Wendy Page says, injured 9/5/2020. My occupational nurse has to close my file on March 18th.
No, she doesn't.
She has been great. What am I facing without her? At what point do people get lawyers? I've read you can't sue the federal government.
That's
I have
right.
a permanent brain injury from a mattress van door slamming into my head. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so there's no situation that allows you to sue the agency or the government or whatever. But your case is not closed, even if a nurse manager says it is. The case isn't closed until your doctor says it is. So don't lose heart on that. Your doctor's in charge. If there's still ways they can help you, the case stays open. If you've hit maximum medical improvement, then you're at the point where you get a impairment rating. But I can't imagine why you would need a lawyer unless they're just jacking around with you. If that's the case, and you think there's something that I'm not seeing, give us a call. We'll hook you up with a really good lawyer.
Yeah,
and help you get taken care of. What we don't want is for that to go where you get screwed over. We just don't want that.
Yeah, and I can't remember who asked about getting denied. If your claim is denied, there's ways of still getting it fixed. Don't listen to what your doctor is saying to go get an attorney. There's a few videos where we discussed how to fix your denied claim. I think it was 2 lives ago. We have all the videos in our video section. Go back and look at that and then give us a call and we can help you.
So Jennifer Becerra, she's one of us. She just posted her phone number on there. She's one of our case managers. That is putting it lightly for her. She is an OWCP expert in the highest degree. So if you get a chance to speak with her or her team, they're definitely going to be able to help you.
Yeah. Terry Sather said, can an OWCP doctor give a second opinion per OWCP's request?
Yeah.
Put down more hours than what your doctor put down for permanent restrictions.
They can do it, but it doesn't make it right. So you'll have to take what they say, take it back to your doctor, get your doctor to write a narrative that is a rebuttal to that. But before you go see a second opinion doctor, you always know what's going to happen. You know when the appointment is. You need to have your doctor write a narrative report explaining your situation today, filling out a new CA-17 and a new CA-20, and take that stuff to the second opinion doctor. The reason why is most of the time those doctors are not, based on reports from other federal employees, are not going to really evaluate you. They're not going to look at your records. They're barely going to talk to you for 5 minutes. So give them things they have to look at so that if they're going to go against your doctor, they have to know they're going against a doctor who knows very much about your case. That can help you.
Shirley Puente said, can you help with disability? I have diagnosed with lung cancer.
So we can. We definitely know about disability. I hope you don't need it. But absolutely yes. Also, Eric Blowers is our lawyer. He's your lawyer too if you want him to be. He's a specialist in OPM disabilities, what you're talking about. Yeah. And we'll post his number here. And you can call him or not. We don't care. You can call anybody. We don't really care. But he will talk to you for free and let you know if you've got a case that he can help with.
Yeah, he does disability.
But I think it's important to note, this brings up the second book of Breaking OWCP. I have a chapter in here on OPM disability that Eric happened to edit for me. So this book, the chapter on disability and the chapter on scheduled awards, by the way, is written by me, but proofed by him to make sure it's good. So this may be something for you. Go to breakingowcp.com, and the shipping's free, the book is cheap, and the information is priceless. I just made that up.
Okay.
Okay.
Natalie Casera said, I have a work comp claim and it was accepted and had surgery on my rotator cuff. Then last year, my arm started hurting again. So I filed again. Why would it be denied?
So, things are denied because claims examiners either A, don't read the report, or B, the doctor wrote a bad one. Everything is denied because of doctors' narratives or claims examiners overlooking things.
Yeah.
So you got to read the denial, find out what the reason was, because the denial letter always says specifically, this is denied because, ... You got to find out what that is and take it back to your doctor. But every time you get a denial, I want you to file a reconsideration. You have an appeal request form that goes with that denial. check reconsideration. That gives you 12 months from the denial date to appeal, and it allows you to use new information. That new information comes from your doctor, who writes a narrative based on that denial.
Good answer.
Yeah, it's the answer.
Nick Morovich said, "Hi, I've been on OWCP
What's up, Nick?
since 2009. I need to put in for an award. Do I need a third party? If
No.
so, do you have a recommendation? Is there a website where I can get all my OWCP information, health, insurance, life insurance, medical information, etc.?"
Yeah, so you don't need a third party. If you're going to get a scheduled award, that means you need an impairment rating. So remember when I said there's going to be some commotion?
Ryan?
Narayan, doggy alert. Doggy alert. Okay. So here's the deal. What was the name again? Sorry.
Nick.
Nick. You need your doctor to place you at maximum medical improvement, or MMI. And then the doctor's got to give you a 6th edition impairment rating. You hear this all day?
You can put him out, okay?
It's a girl.
Okay.
It's not a boy.
We're going to show you our little puppy here. Let me have my
Yeah,
son.
so I'm not going to forget where I'm at, so just hold that thought. Just pull it up. Pull it up. Straight up.
Oh, you're locking it.
Talk amongst yourself.
Come on, baby.
Let me see her. Okay.
Hi, baby girl.
That's Ellie.
This is Ellie.
So
Say hi.
later, you won't see her on my lap because she'll be bigger than me.
Do you see those beautiful blue eyes?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, look at all the hearts
Aw.
she's getting.
Yay!
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go, grab her.
Okay.
All right.
So your doctor's got to. Sorry. Okay, that was Ellie. Your doctor's got to put you in maximum medical improvement, meaning you're as good as you're going to get. At that point, the doctor does a 6th edition impairment rating and schedule award. So I want to say this. Everyone's like going nuts over Ellie, which is really sweet. This book has something that doesn't exist anywhere except for this book. Now listen closely. This is very important. What I'm going to tell you only exists in this book. It does not exist anywhere else. I wrote a chapter on schedule awards where, with Eric's edits, okay, his approval, I made a worksheet for how to determine what your award should be. This does not exist. To me, this is groundbreaking. It starts on page 137 of the second book, and I'm just going to show you. So I made this simple worksheet. See the worksheet right here? And so what I said is, if you know all the elements of a scheduled award, you can determine what your award should be. People ask all the time, how much money am I going to get? I don't know. Actually, I do. It turns out, so can you. So, breakingowcp.com.
Yeah.
But you got to get a 6th edition impairment rating after your doctor medically puts you at MMI. And I hope that answered the question. If not, please come back over the top and ask again.
Well, this is his second part of his
let's
question
hear it.
from Nick.
Okay.
What if I get a disease while on OWCP and my accepted conditions aggravates the disease I got?
Yeah, so anything that aggravates your conditions will be approved. Don't worry about that. There's a way to get that done. Your doctor will just have to write a beautiful narrative to show that, something's been made worse that was work-related.
Yeah. Madeline Colvin said, "Hi, you two." Hi,
Hey.
Madeline. Just wanted to thank you for pointing me in the right direction of the federal clinic for my narrative. I live in New York and traveled 4 hours, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Just waiting now. My mind is more at ease. Also got 2 books. Thanks for everything. This
You're
site
welcome.
is so informative.
Well, thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Madeline. And so this is why we're telling you guys to share, because people like you in the past didn't know that this Facebook Live page existed, and this is where you can get all the information you need on OWCP.
And so far, if you're new, you can see that, I'm telling you about a book. You don't have to buy it. There's no strings attached. You come here. I'm going to answer these questions, okay? You're going to get the information you need. So share. That's a 5-share, just so you know.
Share.com, I guess.
5share.com.
Marie Mitchell said, "They won't let me work until I get approved or 100% off restrictions. I've been out since 8/1/2020.
Okay, so that's a bummer for them. If they won't let you work, then, and if your claim's approved, if it's not approved, this doesn't apply. But if your claim's approved and they won't let you work, you're going to get paid every hour you're off of work. You fill out a CA7 claim for compensation, and you attach the fact that they won't let you work. You attach a CA20, a CA17, appointments of your doctor's visits, and a narrative report explaining why you have to be off of work. In this case, you have to be off work because the supervisor sent you home. You're going to get paid.
Michelle Laura said, how do we call y'all to get help? Well, you can call y'all at 877-787-OWCP.
She is not making fun of y'all.
No.
I am from Texas.
I always do that
I'm
to
a
him.
fifth-generation Texan. I use y'all every day.
So does my sister-in-law.
Anybody that says you all, I don't understand. It's y'all.
My sister-in-law posts everything with y'all.
Y'all.
Jessica does. Okay.
Mike Lucier's watching. What's up, Mike?
Tish Buck said, hey.
Hey.
Jennifer posted stuff below. April said, I got the books.
Thanks. I hope that helps. I know it will. But share it with somebody else, too.
Rocky said, I'm a rural carrier that was injured in 2015. My case was denied after 8 months. I filed for reconsideration and my case was accepted.
Yeah.
Gini and Chris helped me after all of that. If you need help going against OWCP, they can and will help.
Thank you, Rocky. That's right.
I remember when Rocky came on with us. It was like maybe 2 years ago.
Hey, but that applies to all of you. Anybody that needs help, we're here. This is what we do, and we're happy to do it. We're so happy to do it.
Melissa said, hey, Jennifer, I got your number. It's on speed dial, and you always answer. Love y'all.
Yeah. We love you, too.
Yeah, for those of you that are calling the 877 number, just remember when you are calling, you have 3 of them, and they're answering other questions. So be patient. They will call you back, because what happens is I called and nobody didn't call me back. They will call you back, though, okay? April Myrick said, it's crazy. The post office knows what they're doing. I don't case, but we're in a political mail hell.
So let me tell you something. The post office does know what they're doing, but here's the beauty of it. So do we. We know exactly what they're doing, and we know what to do about it. So come here to this page. Whatever problems you're having, ask them. If there's something I don't have an answer to, which is rare and few and far between, we'll find somebody who does.
Yeah.
But we know what they're doing, too, and that's why we're here. That's why you're here.
Yeah. Ron Jackson said, how does COVID-19 work? Can it be a claim?
Of course, Ron. So if you go to my Twitter page, at Fed Injury Center, at the @ Fed Injury Center, you just scroll down a little bit, you're going to find a notice, I think from USPS actually, about COVID, but I'm fairly sure that applies to everybody.
Yeah, follow it.
Take a look at it.
Yeah.
Take a look at it. But what I do know is you got to be able to show that you got it at work or came in contact because of work, and then they'll give you 14 days off for free, basically to get paid, so that you can recover. And you don't have to test positive. You just have to show that you were around somebody that did. I think it's been a while since I've looked at it.
Stephanie Duffy said, how do you get your sick leave back and how much does it cost?
So there's a thing called leave buyback, and you need to look at it. There's a worksheet. It's called a CA7B. So take a look at that. It's very important to you because leave buyback is not free. And so how much does it cost is a good question. But I want everybody to know they can go look at the worksheet, the CA7B worksheet, and get that answer. You can always get your time back if you want it, though.
Yeah. Those of you that are asking about the book, you go to www.breakingowcp.com. The book is $14.95 for one, $22 for volume 1 and 2, free shipping. We get it out the next day. Yeah. I said that all in one breath.
Except there were some of you, I think 6, that didn't get it out the next day because I was traveling trying to get new doctors. So I apologize for that, but your books are on the way. They've been in the mail for a few days now. I hope you got it already.
Serena Collette said, I was on TTD past a year now. I'm told I lose that entire year accounting towards my retirement calculations.
Yeah. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Lacey Steele said, can I get a new doctor after my claim is denied? My claim was denied because my doctor didn't write a proper narrative. I've been trying to get him to write it even before my claim was denied. He told me that he sent it in. Then I got the denial letter, and I've been begging him ever since. I'm willing to drive to Florida to see y'all, but I'm scared they won't pay for it because I didn't have y'all from the beginning. I need surgery and can't wait to get it. And because I'm a rural carrier, I can't go back to work.
So you rural carriers have the biggest problems here for a lot of reasons I don't want to go into now, but you have some serious problems. Yes, you can change treating doctors. Go to my website, breakingowcp.com, and I've got a tab there that says free downloads. And I've got one that says change of treating doctors. It's a worksheet for how to write your letter to change treating doctors. You need to get that. Anybody that wants to change doctors needs to get that. It's not a guarantee that a claims examiner will say yes, because often they say no. But if you want them to say yes, follow the worksheet. That's your best chance.
Yeah.
With that said, if you're willing to pay for the travel, you can go to another doctor from anywhere. You can go to, if you're in Florida, you can go to Alaska and find a doctor who will write a narrative. If that narrative works, it can get your claim accepted. So just know there's a risk. You may not get paid for the travel, but you might get your claim accepted, and that's a big deal.
Yeah. Mary says, I'm having trouble reading. How much extra for you both to read the book to me? LOL. So,
Everyone keeps telling me to put the audio version out. I just haven't.
last night, we have a new IT guy that just came on with us, and he's working out a bunch of IT stuff. And we were just discussing this with him last night, saying, you know, once he's done that IT stuff, we're going to go ahead and move forward with our podcast. And I know I told you guys this before. So I'll make sure that he reads both books on the podcast. We don't know where it's going to spin off from, but we will be working on it. We're hoping to start the podcast maybe April.
But if there's enough people that want an audiobook, and I honestly don't know what kind of demand there is for that, because that's going to take a lot of time, and I've honestly never done it. This live video is the only thing I ever record, ever. So I don't know how to do it. I'm not technologically savvy. I'm an OWCP expert, but I don't know how to record a book. But if there's enough demand and enough people want it, I'll figure it out, and I'll get you an audiobook for both, Volume 1 and 2.
All right, so everybody wants to know this. Is there a time limit to buy your days back? And
No.
I retired in 2009 and been on OWCP since then. Does the time on OWCP count towards retirement?
No. Not if you're off work. Okay, you got to be at work. You can be getting medical attention, but you got to be at work for it to count. And as far as the buyback, as long as your claim's accepted, you can go back to day one, and it doesn't matter where you're at. You can, if it was 10 years ago, you can get your time back. 20 years, 30 years, you can get your time back if your claim's accepted.
Jenna, you said a coworker was in a postal vehicle accident hit from behind. So
that's a big deal.
If you can just send this particular message to our Wednesday night OWCP Chats messenger, like on our page, I will give you the contact for attorney Eric Blowers, who deals with all federal personal injury. And then that way you get it taken care of right from the beginning. Don't call a regular PI attorney that lives in your state. First call Eric Blowers, and then he will find or will work with the attorney in your state.
And in the first book, chapter 12, page 90, deals with third-party injuries. That's car wrecks, okay? But what it says is after the settlement and then after attorney's fees, you get 20%, and that's by rule. Mm-hmm. So Department of Labor will automatically give you 20% of the settlement. So it's in your interest to file an OWCP, and DOL actually requires you to. But most of you don't know that. In fact, I tried to teach this once in a local union meeting, and I mentioned attorneys because it's needed. You don't want me to talk about this?
I don't think you should.
Well, I'm going to. The point is, we were asked not to come back. But the point is, like, the rule actually says you need a DOL lawyer because it doesn't say you need a lawyer, but it does say that you have to pursue the third party. How are you going to do that by yourself? It'll be you versus an insurance carrier. So just understand, you're going to need a lawyer for this that understands OWCP. And now my dog's eating my book, so I'm going to go ahead and take that from her. Now she's drinking my drink.
You come grab her.
Oh my God.
I think
she's thirsty and hungry.
Just go ahead, come get her. They can't see you.
I hope you like that. I had lemon water, and she's like, "Oh, lemon water is not good." Okay.
Lacey Steele, the one that was saying about switching doctors, she said, "Will they pay the other doctor bill too, even though I'm switching?"
They'll pay every doctor bill once the claim's accepted. That's the beauty of it. Your doctor should be willing to give up the reins on this deal, because if the claim gets accepted, the first doctor who did a bad job is going to get paid.
Yeah.
So how about that?
Arceli says, is there a way to buy years worked as an RCA towards retirement?
All right, so that's outside of the scope of OWCP, and I appreciate the question, but like I said earlier, if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to answer it, so I don't know. You should ask your union, because they definitely know.
Oh, Edward,
you can't put them in your room?
She keeps trying.
She opens the door like she has the doorknob?
She keeps trying.
That's okay.
I got a dog with 5 fingers. She appears to... Hey!
You have to pick her up.
You got to take her. So this girl, she's like opening doorknobs. I don't know how she does it. Neither does he. But now she wants to eat my charging cable, which means we're going to go dead if she eats it.
You can go in put her in my room.
Bye, doggy. Okay.
Edward says, I'm trying to buy the 2 books, but Puerto Rico is not in the state list. Oh, if it's not, we'll go ahead and add that ASAP.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Edward, if you can just go ahead and send me your address through Messenger, I will have Chris go ahead and ship it to you, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to do it.
Marie Mitchell said, do you know if you are out and lose your holiday pay as well? If and when my case gets approved, do you think I'll get my holiday pay as well? If so, is it automatic when you put it in your weekly work hours with your CA7?
Nothing is automatic, but put it on your CA7. That's how it gets done. But you're not getting it done if you don't attach documentation. You attach a CA20, a CA17, copies of doctor's appointments, and a narrative report explaining why you're out of work and why you couldn't work.
Yeah. Jenna Arnie said, hope I said your last name right, Jenna. Coworker was hit while delivering the mail. She finally settled with the insurance company. However, a year later, she is having issues with her eye and face. Can she claim OWCP again since she was settled?
Yeah. So read it one more time. This is an important question.
Coworker was hit while delivering mail. She finally settled with her insurance company. However, a year later, she is having issues with her eye and face.
Yeah.
Can she claim OWCP again since she's settled?
Yeah, so if the claim was already accepted, then what she's got to do is have a diagnosis expansion added to her existing claim. Whatever the conditions are, the diagnoses are, the doctor will have to explain. But that's the way that you get new conditions added to an existing claim. And absolutely, that gets done all the time.
Lacey Steele said, I'll call y'all tomorrow. I need Eric's number too. So just go ahead and message me that you need Eric's number, and I'll go ahead and put that down.
I think you should pin it here, because I think a few people are going to want it.
Okay.
She'll pin it at the end.
If my doctor is ready to put me on maximum recovery after he stops seeing me, can I still go to one of your doctors?
So the trick here is changing treating doctors. Claims examiners don't automatically accept that. In fact, they often don't accept it. So you have to have a really good reason. But go ahead and get that form I talked about earlier at breakingowcp.com. Go to the free tab or free downloads and get the change of treating doctors form. It'll help you and sort of walk you through how that would happen if they'll allow it. That's how you do it.
No, Leticia.
Excuse me. My mother-in-law's watching. I'd like to say hello to Ma. Come on.
Is?
I'm smiling.
And
She always tells me to smile like I'm so serious because this is serious. But I'm going to smile for a minute. Okay. What's the next question?
Oh, my word. This has become the Gini and Chris joke show. My claim has been accepted, but the HR and caseworker is refusing to approve my CA7 and CA7A.
Can I just stop?
Doctors didn't sign the
Those
documents.
people have no right to refuse or accept a CA7. It's not their job. So the rest of this, it's not their job. Okay, their job is to process it, period. Go ahead. What's the question now? But that's really serious. That's your money. And the law says they shall process it in 5 days. So, there's no option for them not to process it. But go ahead now. I'm sorry about that.
Is refusing to approve my CA7 and CA7A, saying doctors didn't sign the documents. What should I do now?
Well, get a medical doctor to sign it on everything that a doctor has to sign. That's kind of that's the deal. You can't have nurse practitioners, PAs, chiropractors. A medical doctor has got to ultimately sign. But those people can't deny it. They've got to process it. In fact, they've got to just send it to a claims examiner and let a claims examiner say, hey, this wasn't signed by an MD or whatever. So it's not their job to deny it. It's their job to process it. And if you get my book, book 1, and then it's definitely book 1 because all the rules, laws, and regulations are there, you're going to see and be able to show these people that they can't do that to you.
Kelly Rennett said, question, I've been getting my back pay coded as 1 disability. They now want a second opinion form from their doctors. What are they up to?
Well, this is common, so don't think anything about it. Second opinion visits are super common. They're required. You can't skip it. Like, you got to go. But go ahead and get a narrative report, a CA-20, a narrative report explaining your status, like what's going on with you, why you're off of work, what's been happening. A CA-20, which you can get off federalinjurycenters.com, and a CA-17 that explains your work status, and take that to that second opinion doctor.
Melissa Estes said, you said if my doctor needs help writing it, you will call them?
Well, I'd be more than happy to talk to your doctor.
But
Absolutely.
Have them call us.
Yeah.
Melissa, message me and I could give you a phone number to have the doctor call directly. That way one of us, Chris or I, picks it up.
Yeah, so I train doctors for a living. I'm happy to talk to any doctor that wants to be trained.
Bama Edwards said, is there a workers' comp physician you can refer in North Carolina near Charlotte that can help with anxiety caused by coworker while working as a 204B?
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying, and not yet, but we are working on several leads in North Carolina, and hopefully that works out for you. But what you're dealing with is not uncommon. This happens all the time, so don't feel bad about it. What you want to do is probably go to a counselor or a psychologist or somebody that can take your statement and write a report explaining what's going on with you. That would be a nice head start for you.
Valor Miller said, while on OWCP, in my case a year, there were 2 contractual increases in pay, cannot bank on receiving as they go by last day of work, correct?
That's right. That's 100% right. So your last day of work is your pay. If there were bumps in pay and you weren't working, you're not going to have access to that. But you know what? I hate that, actually. But this is one of the reasons I tell people the surest way to get paid is to clock in. Mm-hmm. And so we like to tell people, I don't want to put anybody else in this. This is me.
We, him and I.
Okay, so I like to say, go to work if you can. Not if it's not safe, don't go to work.
Right.
If you've got a broken leg and you have to walk 10 miles a day for your job, that's not going to get it done for you. If they'll let you sit down all day long, you should go to work and clock in because there's no barriers to getting paid. Federal payday laws require them to pay you. But if you're off of work, you got to fill out a CA-7, attach documentation, prove that you were supposed to be off of work. It's a real pain, okay? So, just try if you can. But when you're off of work, the pay stops at the point where you stop working.
Yeah.
Like, whatever pay level you're at is where you're going to stay till you go back to work.
Mike Lucero said, hi, Ma.
What's up?
So, hi.
I know you're talking to her. I'm not Ma. And, oh, wait, you're not Ma either.
No.
Ma.
Yeah, Ma.
Ma. Okay.
And
Has
Ma
anybody
said,
ever seen, hold on, has anybody ever seen Wedding Crashers? Because if Ma's still watching, we call her Ma. But you know that part with Will Ferrell? He goes, Ma, the meatloaf.
Oh my God.
We want it now.
He says that to her every time she calls.
It cracks her up. But we do want it now.
And Ma said, hi, Chris, good job.
Thanks, Ma. Thanks. I do want the meatloaf now, though.
Oh my gosh. All right, John. John said, I've been out on OWCP since 2015 and was accepted for OPM and SSDI.
Okay.
I suffered a traumatic brain injury and had 6 doctors say that I'm permanently disabled for life, but went to a second opinion in October and just received their opinion saying that I recovered 100%. She lied in her report and we wrote a letter to show how she lied. Could they make me go back to federal employment?
So they can do that, but I'd probably go back to one of your expert doctors and take that report and ask them to write a rebuttal to it. And I'd also probably, this is one of those cases where I'd say talk to Eric. Eric Blauer's a lawyer. I think you probably need some expert advice from him. And he knows this. I don't always send people to Eric. I don't typically send people to lawyers. But this might be one of those cases where you should. And she's going to post Eric's number, and you should tell him that we told you to call.
Right here. Jennifer already put it
good.
down
Yeah,
here, and I pinned it, so it's right there. If you guys need anything from Attorney Eric Blowers for Schedule Award, OPM Disability, Federal Personal Injury, and yeah.
But that second opinion doctor will often hose you, all the way. But you have rights, and I'd like to get you to figure out what those are. So definitely have your doctor write a rebuttal, your favorite doctor, the best one, whatever, to that second opinion doctor's report. But talk to Eric. It's probably in your best interest in this case.
Lily said, I have an approved claim and had surgery, but my claims examiner wants a field nurse to go with me on my doctor's appointment. Do you have any idea what this is about?
It's just the field nurse likes to know firsthand what's going on with the doctor, and so they'll ask the doctor like things about your current status and honestly things they can get from a CA20 or CA17. I don't think it's a bad thing unless that person is working in your not working in your best interest. If they're not, I might not want them in the room with me. And in fact, according to Eric, you might not have to have them as your nurse manager. So just make sure they're working in your best interest.
Kimberly Carr said, did you say our time off for an injury does not count towards retirement?
Yeah. Sorry.
Teresa Fisher, I'm restricted from walking on ice on my CA7. We have had ice on the ground all week and I've stayed home. Will DOL pay me or do I have to use AL or SL?
No, they'll pay you, but your claim has to be accepted. If it's not accepted, that's a problem, but we need to work through that problem. But yeah, they'll definitely pay you.
Juan Lewis said, is there a work comp physician that you can refer in San Antonio that can help with COVID-19 injury? My case was accepted. I suffer lung, heart, cognitive, and fatigue and exhaustion.
I'm really sorry to say it, but we don't have any doctors that we know of in San Antonio, Texas.
We're working on it very slowly.
Yeah, and just let me say, COVID is like a subset specialty of medicine that nobody's dealt with before now. All right, we're like a year into it now, but prior to this, nobody ever heard of COVID, so there are not a lot of OWCP COVID specialists. If there's one, I'd be shocked.
What we know for COVID is, and I know things had changed from the beginning of when COVID started to what we know now, is we do know that it is a claim that you can submit, and I think you get like 2 weeks off with your pay.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all there is to do that we know.
But talk to your unions
Yeah.
because they have better information than we do, maybe.
Steve
Maybe.
Baker said, my claim was accepted and called the post office HR over a week ago to send me a CA7 and a CA7A. She said I have to get them from her and fill out and send it back to her.
No, you don't. Go to federalinjurycenters.com. Federal Injury Centers with an S on the end, .com. At the top of the page, you'll see a tab called OWCP Forms. You can print all the CA7s and A's that you want to your heart's content. Print them out, fill them out. The supervisor's got to fill out page 2. And they have 5 days from when you submit them to get it to OWCP.
Okay, I know there's a few of you asking if we can pin the number for the doctor to call, help filling out reports and paperwork. So that's our cell number, so I'm not going to go ahead and pin it on here because then my phone will blow up like it used to back in the day where I got 700 calls a week. What I'll do is if you send me a message and put in there, what's your phone number so my doctor can call and speak to Chris or you.
Happy to.
I'll go ahead and give you my number from there or Chris's number.
Yeah.
Lily said, can I refuse to have a field nurse come to my doctor's appointments?
You can, but your field nurse is ultimately going to talk to the doctor anyways. And if it were me, I'd want to know what they were saying. So I'd probably want to be in the room.
Yeah.
They have a right to speak to your doctor, so I just want to be there when it happens.
Hey, Melissa Ross from Lakeland
Hey,
says, hello,
what's up,
guys.
Melissa? Miss you.
Yeah. Any other questions? What? Nobody has questions?
Well, that's okay, because I'm going to say this again. There's a lot of people watching. Everyone hit the share button. If it takes you off this page, don't sweat it. Come back. Okay, if I see the number of views drop, that's no problem. Come back. It'll come right back up. You need to share. You need to let people know they're not alone, okay? So let people know we're doing this, because even when the live portion of this video goes away, the video is always there. Anybody can come back later and watch it. So let people know this is here. You know, we're answering questions that are really important. You're asking something, and there's thousands of other people that want to know the answer to that question too. So we need to get them watching so they can get the answers they need. That way they know how to contact us, you know, how to get the lawyer, just the rules, the laws, the regulations. This is what's needed. So we're all together on this. Yeah. You, all, and us, we're all together. Okay, we got Jennifer and her team out there ready to answer your questions. You've got me here answering your questions. You know, we're all here doing this. It's your job, and I'm sorry, this is your job. It just is, to let someone else know. Once they know when they get here, then it's their job to let someone else know too. But you're not alone means none of us, we don't let anybody be alone. This is a real big problem, okay? If you are just getting here, you're probably thinking, yeah, it's kind of a problem for me. But if you've been here a while, it's because you know it's a problem for a lot of people. This is a serious, serious problem. Not enough people have this information. In fact, almost nobody. Out of 2.9 million federal employees,
Yeah.
we have 450,000 views a year, and many of you come back multiple times. That means a lot of you, most of you, are not getting the information. But you all can help those people not be alone. So just share. Just hit the share button. It's so simple. Share. It'll go to your news feed, and people that you work with that are also federal employees will see it. And before, they didn't know it. And then they'll see it, and then they'll share, and their people will see it, and so on and so on and so on. And that's what we're trying to do. So, do us a favor. Do them a favor. Forget me. Do your coworkers and your friends and your coworkers who are friends a favor and share this page. You're going to save someone's life. I promise you. You will save somebody's life.
Angela Bowling Spite said DOL decision letter denied compensation while under doctor's care. Caseworker and local office lied in report. Appeal request form. Should I request 2 reconsideration or 3 review by Employee Compensation Appeals Board?
So, reconsideration is the only thing I ever recommend, ever. Okay, because you have 12 months to reconsider, and you can use new information. The other ones don't give you both of those things. So reconsideration. But anybody that lies in official documentation for OWCP by law, and you'll see this in the first book at breakingowcp.com, anybody that knowingly puts a false statement is at risk of fines, imprisonment, or both.
It's in the book.
Wouldn't you like to know what that rule is? Look, I'm not trying to hide it from you. I'm not going to get the book and read it. But there's a rule out there that says if you lie or make a false statement in combination with an OWCP claim, you can go to jail. So I think that's interesting to have. Like, that's a nice little tool to have in your belt.
Mark said, one last question.
Yeah.
Not Mark, Nick.
Nick.
Nick Marvich. Can I still collect my OWCP while waiting for an award?
Yes. You can. You can't collect them both at the same time, but 100% you can collect one and then the other.
Scott Dutt said, I broke my ankle while on the route. It was deemed a slip and fall. What am I looking at as to whether or not they will cover?
All right, so they're definitely, look, I don't care if it's a slip and fall or if you're running from a dog, okay? I don't care if you stepped in a hole. I don't care if someone came out and hit you with a baseball bat. I pray to God that never happens. All of those scenarios are covered. It doesn't matter. If you were on your route when it happened, it's covered. Period. The end.
Michelle Nielsen, Brenda Prado said, how long is it until I get an MMI award? How does it work?
Well, that's different for everybody, but go ahead and check out both of my books. I've got a chapter in the first book on MMI and scheduled awards, and I've got a chapter in the second book on scheduled awards and how to calculate them. But the bottom line is you get a scheduled award when your doctor says you're at maximum medical improvement, MMI, which is a medical decision. It's where your doctor says you're as good as you're going to get, so let's do an impairment rating. That's how that works. It's not a decision you can make. It's a decision your doctor makes.
Michelle Nielsen said, I'm sorry, I'm so uninformed. Thank you for your help.
No.
I would like to retire in October, but I need to take care of my carpal tunnel first. I have a lot of sick leave. Can I use my own sick leave while getting surgery?
Well, you definitely can, but you made me think of something I hear a lot of times. People say, I'm going to retire soon. I'll do my, report my injury afterwards. Don't do that. They're going to deny it. You're never going to get it approved. You have 3 years from date of injury to report, so go ahead and report now, right away. It doesn't mean you have to be off of work. I mean, you're still working now. But go ahead and get it done so you don't lose your benefits.
Yep.
Period. That's a big deal.
Mark said, my claim has been denied. I see my doctor tomorrow. Any suggestions on how to get him to write a proper narrative?
Well, first of all, take the denial letter that DOL sent you and have the doctor read it and write a report refuting the denial reason. There's a paragraph in there that says specifically your claim is denied because. Have your doctor address that paragraph and then send that in for reconsideration.
Michael Sanchez says COP was not paid out due to agency submitting late claim, has now been accepted who pays out the missing COP and used AL and SL. Agency has agreed they processed late.
I mean, at the very least, I'd say file a grievance. Some people here don't want to hear me say that, but I'm saying it. I think probably you want to call EEO and ask if you've got an EEO claim. I don't know if you do, but they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And I would ask. I know for sure you weren't treated fairly. You had a work injury, which it's a disability is a protected class, and you weren't treated right. You were owed COP, and they didn't give it to you, and that's not okay.
Those of you that are in the McKinney office, Juanita, one of the operations people, owners in that office, she has put down, if you guys have denied claims, to reach out to their office and they can help. They are a part of our franchise group, Federal Injury Centers of McKinney, Texas. Madeline Colvin said, how long do they take when you do a reconsideration?
Well, they don't have any time frames. There's no rules that say they have to reply in X number of days or weeks or months. That's because there's so many of you and so few of them. So what you have to do is call a lot. Some people are not comfortable calling more than once a week. Others are not comfortable calling just once a day. They want to call more than once. The squeaky wheel gets oiled, so how squeaky can you be?
Lacey Steele said, shoot, I told my union rep that I'll help anyone who gets hurt at work and talk to me before talking to the supervisor because they are not your friend. I'm still waiting on the paycheck from my MJO back in December. He never submitted my hours. I don't want anyone to go through what I did.
Yeah.
Those of you that work with Lacey Steele, if you get injured, contact her first.
Yeah, all the way. Lacey, you're my hero. Everybody needs to be just like Lacey.
Yeah.
That cares and is willing to get in there, roll their sleeves up, and get dirty a little bit, because the supervisors often will make you have to do it.
Albert Williams said, my claims examiner sent back my mileage sheets saying I can only go back 1 year. What should I do?
So I play poker, and I used to play with these guys, and if I were going to bluff, or if he thought I was bluffing, which that person's doing, he would say, bullshit. And that's what it just made me think that. Bullshit. You definitely have more than a year. You get to go back to day one, okay? Fill your forms out and turn them in, okay? Put the documentation that's needed. But that's not correct. That's just not right.
Just laughing. Sherry said, my work comp claim has still not been approved and my doctor has let me go back to work, but I'm very limited as to what I'm allowed to do.
Yeah.
The work claim examiner is very rude to the point that I hung up on her last week. She says I'm not being efficient with the way I carry my mail route, even though I've done this job for 20 years and have always stayed way under evaluation. Can I request a different work comp case worker? This lady tries her best to belittle me and makes me feel as though I'm incompetent, yet she has no clue what my job entails.
So here's what Attorney Eric Blowers has told me. He said that you can write a letter to your claims examiner requesting that your current nurse case manager be removed from your case. And as he put it, the words are, and they shall be removed. So you can do that. I don't ever tell people to remove their case manager because I think many of them actually have your best interest at heart. But if yours doesn't, what I've been told is you can write that letter to your claims examiner and have them removed. It doesn't mean another one won't be put on your case, but it will mean that one won't be there.
Aston Goldsworthy said, anyone in Kansas City on here? Anybody in Kansas City? Going once, going twice. Sold to.
So I had a Tampa Bay joke there I'm not going to make.
Carl.
Okay, look, I actually don't care. I'm from Dallas, so just forget that I just said that. And my college roommate's from Kansas City. His name is Jerry Jones. He's not the owner of the Cowboys, but he's a diehard Chiefs fan. So, not talking bad about the Chiefs.
Carol, the doctor needs to use the 6th edition impairment rating,
so
not
a lot
the 4th.
Yeah, a lot of them use the 4th. Look, half a lifetime ago, I was doing impairment ratings on the 4th. Me, not a doctor. They let you do that back then. That's how you know it's bad now.
Yeah, and Chris knows half a lifetime ago because he was like 50 then, and now he's like 100.
Maybe.
Marie Mitchell said, hello, I was just denied reconsideration, but it took 96 days. I have refiled a reconsideration again this week.
Good.
Thankfully, after seeing Emmy in the group in Massachusetts. Well, there you go. You should be good to go after this.
And let me tell you something.
Hopefully.
This goes to everybody. You can file one reconsideration after another. If they keep denying, you can keep doing a reconsideration. As long as your doctor will keep writing new narratives, you're good to go. Eventually, they're going to run out of reasons to say no, and they're going to say yes, and you're going to be good to go.
Otha Gladney, a pretty name.
Yeah.
I have your first book. How do I get the second one? Sorry, I don't remember how I ordered it.
Hey, look, no problem. Check it out.
Go to www.breakingowcp.com.
As I keep saying, we have more W's than everybody else.
David Hudson said, sometimes the squeaky wheel gets replaced because it squeaks. Yes.
Hey, as long as the next one's not squeaking because it's fixed. The key is let's fix it. I'm with you.
Sherry said, my doctor told me today that he doesn't need to see me again until April, but work comp says I must go every month.
Well, then go every month.
Am I required to go every month? And when they present me with my modified job offer, does it put a strike against me if I refuse that modified offer?
All right, so that's two questions. I'm going to answer them both. Number one, if they tell you to go every month, go every month. Number two, if they give you a modified job offer, you must, 100% must accept it if the job offer matches your restrictions on your CA-17. So I would share the job offer with the doctor and make sure. But you are required to accept anything that falls within the restrictions your doctor wrote up. So don't deny them, because if they do, what it tells you is that you can be denied payment. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody.
Kim Tucker said, how can we see y'all's, yes, y'all's, face-to-face to go over my case?
Where you at?
Yeah, where are you at? Maybe Chris can sit with you on Zoom or Skype.
Or maybe I can fly to you and we can have lunch. I don't know where you're at, but there's a way to do it, and I'm happy to do it.
Remember, I'm giving Chris away for this month's share winner.
All right, so most of you that know she jokes a lot, that's a joke. She's not giving me away. She's just loaning me out for a day or two.
Or a week, or a month, or
whatever
a year.
it takes.
So,
but
Kim...
you got to be able to cook at least as good as her.
Kim Tucker, go ahead and message us, and I'll have Chris set up a Skype or a Zoom with you.
Yeah.
And we'll get in touch with you. Just make sure it's anytime you can sit down and take a lot of notes, because it'll probably be detailed. And
so we're going to keep going. It's fine, but we're an hour in. I want to say this before I forget.
There's a bunch of questions.
That's fine. We'll answer all the questions. Zoom meetings. If you are the head of your union or you have any influence in it whatsoever, we are more than happy to get on Zoom meetings like we did in New York a couple of weeks ago and teach the entire membership or just the stewards. We don't care. If your face is on the Zoom call, I'm going to teach you. We love it. Before COVID, we were able to travel around. We were on airplanes 54 times every 52 weeks for 3 years straight. We were always in the air. I had more miles than any 10 people, and so did she.
I know.
So we're happy to do it. But right now, you guys aren't having live meetings as much. I suspect, based on current situation, that's going to change. But for now, Zoom is a thing, or any other platform you want to use, we're happy to do it. But I'll do trainings, live trainings, in your groups face-to-face where they can ask me questions live face-to-face. We love it. I love it in particular.
Ms. Rowland says, if someone got injured while on their way to work, would they be covered?
No. Unless, let's say it's like an FBI agent who is in a company car and sort of always on call, on duty. That person will probably be covered. But let's say that you work at a VA hospital, you're not going to be covered. If you work at a post office, you're not going to be covered. If you are somebody who's sort of always on duty, you're probably going to be covered.
Yeah.
So it's like two situations. It just depends on who you are.
Nick said, is there a website that I can go to find out my info, health insurance, life insurance, other OWCP information? I do not have an OPM because I'm on OWCP.
That's a loaded question, man. There's a lot of websites. I think what I would do is just start by giving us a call. Tell us what you need and let us tell you where to go. The answer is yes. There's definitely websites for what you need. I'm just not sure where to send you.
Yeah, see that number that Jennifer posted down here? You can also, that's Eric's number. I'll go ahead and post the number at the end.
877-787-OWCP, which is 6927.
Miriam said, I've gone through the classes OWCP provided for me and have looked for a job, but it's hard with everything that was closed. Yeah. My extension will be over in March and the USPS still can't accommodate me. What happens now?
All right, so they want to accommodate you. This is tricky too. There's a chance you have to go to disability. I'd probably call Eric Blowers, the lawyer. If you have to go to disability, that kind of sucks. But in that case, you can get 60% of your income in year one, 40% thereafter. Plus, you can get a non-federal job at 80% at the same time. So that's not terrible. It's just new. But I think you should give Eric a call and get some professional guidance, and he'll do that usually for free.
Okay, Victor Ortiz said, I've been taking therapy since 2012 under OWCP. I was
That's a long
approved
time.
for medication. I'm retired. Is there any other compensation I would be entitled to? Also, I'm a medical cannabis patient for the same reason. Can I be reimbursed the money for my medication?
So theoretically, OWCP gives you lifetime medical benefits. So if they approve your treatment, they will also reimburse you for the money you paid. So you need authorization from your claims examiner in order to get reimbursed.
Penny Haller said, does a PhD have credentials to fill out a CA-17?
No. It's got to be signed by an MD. Now, they can fill it out, but the MD's got to sign it.
Brittany said, what are the pros and cons of joining the union?
All right. So I'm going to tell you from a non-union perspective, because clearly I'm not a federal employee, so I'm definitely not a union member. But what I'll tell you is that strong unions provide strong support. And when you have a problem, they're in your corner. When you're not in the union, you're often alone on an island. And as you know, I don't like for you to be alone because you should not be alone. And my book is called You're Not Alone. I think being part of the union is a serious strength. The union presidents and stewards that we know are powerful. They are the muscle behind an OWCP claim in many cases. And not just OWCP. I'm friends with union presidents that I wouldn't want to go up against. There's one in particular I'm thinking of that if he walked in the room and I knew I was on the opposite side of the table,
He'd be pooping bricks.
I'd probably fold my cards as a poker player. So I think you need to be a member of a union that wants to help you. And the unions are there to be your support, to be your muscle. So I like being involved, and I think, as I understand, the dues are like a fraction of the benefit. I would just do it. If it were me, believe me, if I were a federal employee, I would be in the union.
And
I'd probably try to be a union president, but I'd definitely be in the union.
And we've heard, if you get injured and then you decide, and you're not a union member, and you go to the union, you're not going to get any help. So in order for you to get backing from the union president and all the union officials, you must be a union member, whatever agency you're working with.
Not exactly must. I mean, many of them will tell you they're going to help you at least a little bit. At least a little bit. But your best bet is to be a member. Just by the way, hit the like button or heart button as many times as you can if you'd like me to be the president of your union. I'm just kidding. I'm not a federal employee. It doesn't matter. Can't do it. You don't have to hit that button, but go ahead, hit the button.
So Lacey Steele said, Chris, you're incorrect. And
well, there's a first time for everything. How am I incorrect?
Jerry said, Lacey Steele, correct. Rural carriers traveling to and from work in their private vehicle they use on the route is covered for OWCP front door in AM till their first stop after completing the work of line travel home.
So, okay, Jerry's right. I wasn't wrong. I just wasn't thinking of rural carriers. Okay.
Yeah, because we target to
all of you. So I'm thinking of everybody as a whole. Of course, if you're driving your own personal vehicle, that's different than driving a work vehicle. Just so sorry, Lacey. You're correct. I just forgot about you.
Well, everyone, that's the end of our Q&A. You ask, we answer. Thank you guys. You guys had a great questions tonight.
Yes, fun. Where you all been?
Yeah. I am going to try really hard to see if we can get attorney Eric Blowers on our TV screen.
Without technical difficulties like the last 2 times.
Where I'll be reading your questions that you are directing to him about federal personal injury, schedule award, OPM, and
anything else.
And anything else you want to ask him. I'm going to try really, really hard because I know he's like super busy.
And this is really fun for me because he's the only person that ever kind of verbally slaps me down and tells me I'm wrong about something. So you'll all have a really good time with that.
Shirley said, I just ordered both books. Yay!
I'll get them out tomorrow, Shirley.
Obama Edward says, thank you. No, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Don't forget, we are doing share winners. Those of you that share and share and share and share and share at the end of the month.
Even more shares than that.
We count up all the shares and you win a prize. Last month we had 3 share winners. They are getting $200 gift cards, and they told us where they'd like their gift cards to be. So, I mean, we're going to do some really fun stuff, and Chris and I will be discussing it this weekend as to what we're going to give away this month for our share winner. You can share multiple times, share to all your Facebook groups. And I always say this, for just the regular people that hop on our page, like me and Chris, or our family members that are not federal employees.
You don't get the prize.
You don't get to share to be a share winner. However,
you can share to help your fellow man and woman.
Share, because everybody nationwide knows one federal employee, and that is your mailman.
But we're only going to reward federal employees, as this is a page for federal employees. We appreciate you being here. If you're here and you still want to hear about federal workers' comp, awesome, share away. But only federal employees get to win our share award.
How do I order the second book? You go to www.breakingowcp.com. $14.95 for 1, $22 for 2, free shipping. We ship it out tomorrow. Okay, I said that in one breath again.
That's all true?
Yeah. Jerry said, rural carriers have strange rules. LOL. Redheaded stepchildren of the post office.
Hey, Jerry, that may be, but you're not the redheaded stepchildren of Chris. I love you very much, and you all know it.
So, we will see you guys next week. And again, hoping we can get Eric Blowers on live with us. We'll probably go about an hour and a half next week, only because
the questions get out of control with him.
The questions, he's so detailed, which is so good because he wants to break it down for you guys. So we're going to try to see if I can finagle an hour and a half to 2 hours with him. I'm sure he'll be able to do it.
He'll give you the PhD level answers, and I'll put it into our level answers so we understand it.
And we love you guys. We'll see you next
we love you very much.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. You may be our next share winner. We will see you all again next Wednesday.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good week.